Welcome. We are so excited that you are here and have joined the 28-day reset, and we are excited that we are going to be moving through it with you. We are here to share some of our insights and our experience from moving through the 28 days, some of us multiple times. And I know that myself, it has helped to free a lot of tension and restriction and pain from injuries and surgeries that I've experienced. And my name is Michelle, and I am excited to move through this with you. And I am joined here by Saartje, and I would like her to share with you what has brought her to Human Garage.
Thank you. Oh, yeah, my name is Saartje and I'm from the Netherlands. And I used to be a dancer till I was 30, somewhere around that. And I had so many body issues. There was always this back pain or my groins or my legs. And so I started this journey of healing the body. And after that, I was going to work. I was studying therapy, and now I'm working with bodies on an emotional and energetic level, and also went through all my traumas that I had. And then I saw on Instagram this video of a human garage, a woman lying on the table. They were all holding her, and then she was releasing some emotions. I'm like, ah, something in me was like, oh, I want to know more about that. And so I started this program 1.5 years ago. I think it's almost 1.5 years. And I finally, after doing so many things, I finally found something that really is like everything I knew somewhere in my body, that the hurts, that the pain is in the fascia. And now I find ways to release my body. And I'm so thankful for that. So, love sharing this with the world. And then we were going to talk about today for you guys on the 28 days about the fundamentals. We will just go over them. And the intention, as I said, is we are working in the fascia, and the intention is to open up the fascia and to release the tensions and the layers and the stuck energies and chemicals. So the intention is important because that's what will change something. If we work in the muscles or in the organs, then the intention is there, but we are intending to release the fascia. So that take that with you when you move your do the maneuvers. And now you wanted to say something else.
Yes, I wanted to share a little bit more about the fascia and the importance of moving slowly with the intention that Sarche mentioned. That moving slow allows in between the maneuvers and in the movements allows the body to stay in that relaxed and safety state of safety instead of when we start to move faster or more in aggressively is a stronger
Mm-hmm.
word,
Yeah, it's like
that would engage the muscles or the skeletal system. So really that mindful intention that Serche mentioned just keeps us in the state of focus action with the fascia, which is so important. And another aspect of that we can tap into is how we utilize the breath in sequence with using these maneuvers. There are three different breaths that we will focus on using. Breathing in through the nose and letting it release through the mouth keeps the focus and the intention from the ribs and diaphragm up into the chest and up into the head. So if we're working potentially in the upper body, we may use a more focused breath through the nose. If we are working in the lower body, we'll breathe in through the mouth and again release through the mouth. And that will bring more focus and attention from the ribs and diaphragm down into the lower body, maybe working on the hips and into the lower extremities. The third breath would be staged breathing, where we'll purse our lips like we're sipping through a straw and breathe air in staged increments, like such. And then releasing. And that may be repeated 3 or 4 times on different sides. And then again, changes the pressure within the body. We're working with the pressure which we have always externally on the body from outside atmospheric pressure, but we also have pressure within our body. And that keeps everything in symbiotic relationship with the external. And that breath that we use internally changes the pressure and allows to create more space for this fascia to move, flow, and expand. So that's an incredibly important part. Be mindful as you move through the breath. It's such a powerful tool to use. And the zones of the body as we're using the breath. I mentioned upper and lower as we use the nose or mouth breathing. There are three zones: the head, the torso, so from the shoulders to the hips, and then from the hips down into the lower extremities. And as we use counter rotation and the breath, this will help us to target these three zones and really release that fascia at a deep level. Saartje?
Beautiful. Oh, I love the explanation. Makes me clear also. Yeah, and the other thing is the pin and locking of the fascia, that we take one area, maybe on the elbow, and you take the skin and you pull it, and then you stretch it, and then you pin and lock it there. And then you start moving around. I have sunlight. And then you start moving around. And it's like if there's a blockage somewhere here, and I grab the fascia here, it's like pin and locking it. And you see the stretch. And if we start moving like this or that, and then even breathing, then you know that it's like stretching up, and the layers of the fascia is like all these little threads opening up slowly, like so. That's the pin and locking system of the maneuvers. Yeah, and then also important to walk after a maneuver, walk or move. The If you are on the place, maybe you cannot stand and you sit down and do the maneuver seated. It's also possible, or laying down. And then you flow and walk, just to integrate the changes that came up while doing the maneuvers. So yeah, you want to really integrate the changes. And while you're walking, or maybe before or after, you can really observe what is going on in your body. We really want to have more awareness of what is happening. So if you start connecting more to the body, you start observing and noticing much more and more. So you know what the maneuver does for you, and you can, yeah, so you know what you're doing. And even you don't know with your head, but you know, hey, it changes something. So, yeah, really pay attention to what is going on in your body. Maybe it's heat, maybe it's cold, maybe tingling. And also allow all those um, uh, allow the experience, allow all the sensations to be there and to find their new way, because it's only energy moving and changing. So if we are stepping out of it and just observe, then your body can heal while it's moving. So that's a beautiful thing to observe also, if you learn that more and more. I learned more and more, at least. Yeah, I think we've covered the whole seven
So I would just like
fundamentals.
to add a little highlight onto the adaptive portion and the walking. I come from a background, as I mentioned when we started, with a lot of surgeries, a lot of injuries, to
Mm.
the tune of 4 surgeries on my shoulders. I had a spine surgery that put me in a wheelchair overnight. I can certainly resonate with anyone who is on the adaptive side of things. Allow it to flow. Whatever that integration may be for you, it may just be figure eights with your hands, allowing those wrists to move, or it could be, depending upon the limitations you may have, it could just be with your head, bringing that mindful awareness to the movements that you are able to make, and then tuning in with the motion that you are able to do and integrate those is really important. So wherever you are at, we are here to support you. I am very
Yeah,
familiar with the adaptions.
I got also one more thing with the spinal pelvic lock. It's like pin and locking is also the spinal pelvic lock that we're talking about. We do that throughout the whole movement. Every maneuver you need to get that spinal lock engaged. And it's like pulling up your pelvic floor and pulling it up gently, like we said yesterday, like the Eiffel Tower. I feel like this form, and also by pulling in the area under the navel, beneath the belly button, you pull it into your spine, and then it's like, yeah, pulling it up and aligning the whole center. And then we move around it. But it's not like really squishing and holding the pelvic floor, but it's from the inside. And
Yeah.
you also had a nice example of what you
Yes,
can
and
see.
it creates a beautiful center anchor point for the fascia to move from. If we are moving from this tightened area from the pubic bone, envisioning a zipper going up to the center of the ribs. And as Saartje said, just gentle. It's not, oh, we're really grinding into doing a workout or an exercise, but a mindful awareness and contraction of that area ever so slightly creates that anchor point for the fascia to then essentially have a pinning locking point there that we are rotating and moving from, which really just starts to help that expansion of the fascia.
Yeah. Well, I hope we explained it in maybe a different way so it's more clear, or sometimes it helps when somebody else says something and you get another vision. Or and well, we're curious of your journey. Enjoy
Yes,
the ride.
please share in the comments anything that you're experiencing, or if you have questions about any of these fundamentals that we mentioned, please share, ask, and we are here to support you along your journey. And we are so happy that you're here. Congratulations.
Yeah. Bye bye.